one of those, I can't remember if it was Charlie or Greg's year. It was the strike year, but still, I mean, I thought we were good at the kind of football that was being played at that time. I thought we were pretty damn good at what we did.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goes back to, I played with Newberry 6 years, but I played with Smitty for 9 years. I played 8 years with Doug. I played, 10 years with Dennis, 10 years with Jackie. I mean, that's a long time to be, to have a core group like that together for that amount of time. So, it was second nature to us. No matter what we saw, it was automatic. You know what I mean? It wasn't, well, what did you do? What did you see? We all say, it's funny. Coach would ask a question, we'd all answer the same damn thing, at the same time. And you would figure five people would see something, but have maybe five different answers. So, like I said, I would definitely rank us, not patting ourselves on the back, but I'd put us in the top five.
I mean, I would say the same thing easily. I'm glad that you think that, though, because I've said that before, and it's different when you get the guy that you're interviewing like, oh, we weren't that great, like, oh, dude. But
we like I said, we were good at what we did.
Oh yeah,
we were efficient, and the results, like I said, was Eric breaking the record, and we just need some other pieces, to get us over the hump. But at certain years, but other than that, I thought we were pretty steady over that period of time.
I would definitely agree with that. And I mean, when you were manning the left tackle position, you went against some nasty players. I mean, you talk about Richard Dent and, I mean, obviously Lawrence Taylor. But who was the toughest you ever lined up against?
You really want to know?
Yes, I do.
Guy, his name was Rick Bryant from Oklahoma, played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Rick Bryant.
Because he played 60 minutes. Some guys, they'll if they get a rhythm on you early, then they're coming for the game. Whether it's, maybe more so in the pass side of it. In the run side, they'll come hard, but you can sometimes, like I said, you can wear them down a little bit. But every time I played that young man, and we became good friends at the end of the game, we're both laying, laying down on the field like, damn, man, hey, see you in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? It was one of those. I'm not taking nothing away like I did. I played against some great guys, Lawrence and Richard and those guys. I'm not taking anything, but I'm talking about overall, my toughest guy, besides Fred Dean, which I don't think nobody could block Fred Dean, but I'd say Rick Bryant.
I like it because when people talk about who you went up against, it's always Lawrence Taylor and Richard Dent. I mean, two Hall of Famers, obviously, but
without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think, it's unfair, but I think you were extremely underrated. Probably, now today we have Pro Football Focus where, it's basically this site that grades everyone on their play. And I think it's really opened up everyone's eyes to certain players that didn't get the, the proper respect that they deserved because, certain people weren't willing to really go out and, watch that game film. They wanted highlights or, offensive line.
Well, I don't think it was, Well, here's the thing. And it's not game film. Because in 1983, when I tore my Achilles, I missed that season. I was Jackie's first year going to the Pro Bowl, and you can ask Jackie. There was years I outplayed him by leaps and bounds, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But once back then, once you kind of went, then and you were on a team that had a decent record. The same guys kind of went every year. And I think there's more disparity today in the league as far as that, but they would never they'd send two guards from the same team, but they would never send two tackles from the same team. So, that was the explanation I was given. Was I frustrated? Yeah, yes, I was, because I did think my play was as good as anybody else, or better in some cases. And but it is what it is, and I have no regrets for my career. Like I said, being able to get 13 years in, I think that's a great accomplishment, and especially the way we didn't have the kind of rules that they have now as far as safety and all that. We hit all the time, and 2 days for a month, 30 days in a row, and things like that. So, like I said, I have no regrets about my career other than like I said, getting a fair shot to go to a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, obviously, I mean, I'm only 22. I didn't really know exactly how it went down, but I assume that was kind of it because, really what I was going with that whole pro football focus thing is people just, oh, well, he's graded, a 94 out of 99. He must be good, So it's kind of opening people's eyes up because not everyone looks at every offensive lineman. Like I've seen many people, I'm sure you saw Zach Martin just got paid the most, for a guard in NFL history. And people are like, how do you pay a guard that much? I mean, he's phenomenal, but
but he can play.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He can play.
But it makes you wonder if that's somebody that might have just gotten, like he might have gone under the radar and, went like you where, he gets overlooked for the Pro Bowl if he played like maybe in your era. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like they always got everything right. So I'm sorry. I'm going to bat for you there.
Well, I appreciate that. But like I said, man, hey, I got to play in the National Football League and I got to start 150 games. So the way I look at it, that's a lot of football,
Yeah.
And like I said, I had an opportunity with the longevity that I had. I have no, like I said, I have no regrets. I have no, what's the word I'm looking for? I have no, harbored feelings or anything like that. Like I said, I didn't make it to a Pro Bowl, but then that doesn't mean I wasn't a good player.
Absolutely.
Exactly what you just said.
Yeah. I mean, you did your thing and you were stout and consistent. I mean, consistency is the name of the game. And I mean, longevity really is too. And you gave, your all. And, with that being said, you played with a lot of very talented players. You played with a lot of fun players. During your Rams career, you probably made a lot of friends and whatnot. Who do you still stick in touch with? Because like I was just like last year, I was at Lee Irvin's birthday party, so I saw like probably a bunch of your old teammates. But I mean, I couldn't really tell you who was who. I've kind of gotten more into this whole history lately. But is there anyone you really stick in touch with now?
I stay in touch. Duval Love that I played with. Tony Slayton, Jackie Slater. I just retired from being the head coach at a community college here in Visalia, and so Jackie is coaching offensive line coach of the Azusa Pacific down there. So we're constantly talking, players, how we're doing. Stay in contact with Dennis Hare. It's funny because about a month ago, they had the Rams Legends down there, and the whole offensive line was there. So I got a chance to, I see each of them periodically, but like I said, at least once a year we all try to get there. Everyone tries to make it back for that and get together. And I mean, like I said, it's not the football that you miss. It's that camaraderie is what I miss, because when we're all together, it's just, all those good, happy feelings and good times and the bad times that we talk about and, what guys have passed. And, it was great to see because I played, for the years that I played, I got to play with a bunch of guys that were good people, and we were very team oriented. So we did everything together.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But I definitely, like I said, I try to keep in touch with like Herc and Newberry's in Idaho now. So Montana, Boise, Idaho. So, I keep, now that we've I hadn't seen him for a minute because he was on the East Coast for a long time, but he's out this way now. So, we're all trying to make sure once a year, and we talked about it at this reunion, outside the reunion, that, we're going to get together and do some things. So we try to keep in touch with everybody because that was an important part of my life,
Absolutely. I think it's really cool because, you can say, well, I was a friend of the guys in the quarterback room or the running back room. It's not the same with the offensive line, man. I mean, you guys are all next to each other. There's nothing like it. I mean, I know defensive line, but there's something just about offensive line where I feel like that's really where you need cohesion more than any other position.
Well, here's the thing. The only stats we get are penalties or sacks. It's hard to be that, there might be a pancake here and two, but, it's hard to, those are the stats that we sit around and talk about. They do when it comes contract time, trust me. But, like I said, really? Well, maybe they don't. But I look at it like this. Like I said, I'm talking about the offensive line, we were close. We always, we did everything together. If somebody's watching film, we're all watching film. If someone's out doing extra running, we're all doing extra running. Jackie Slater called me last fall and asked me a question. And he said, Irv, how did we get to play so long? And I said, Jackie, because he asked me, what was my biggest fear? My biggest fear was letting those 4 guys down that I was playing with, letting them down. That was my biggest fear. I didn't want to be the one that let them down. That make sense? So you didn't want to be the weak link. So, like I said, hey, I'm working out today. That's all I had to say. Or once somebody said, okay, hey, I'm going to be running, we were all there. It wasn't well, I can't make it. Hell no. You just showed up and you got your work in. That makes sense. And I think that's important to me. We didn't need someone else to say, well, you guys got to be lifting weights. We just all did it together. And that, like I said, that's a bond. That's a bond we have that is probably tighter than, it's almost like a brother or a legitimate biological brother bond,
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's really cool hearing this because I just think, it's been one of the biggest things for the Rams in the modern day. They haven't had, the offensive line like they used to. And they definitely haven't had an offensive line like what you guys were. So, I mean, obviously, you guys are top 5 all time, remember? But, really, what it comes down to is it's so important to have that, cohesion. It's important to gel. I really like this young unit the Rams have for their offensive line, but they do have, Andrew Whitworth is getting there, up there in age. You guys played together for a long time. Whitworth is probably another year. I mean, if he's lucky after this year. I mean, he keeps himself in great shape, but, age is undefeated. Like Father Time is undefeated. So, you got to, worry a little bit. I think he's
played, he's got, 10, 11 years now?
Yeah. He's I think he's 36, 37 years old. So.
Yeah. I mean, if he's healthy, being out there, and I talked to him at camp because they were in mini camp. OTAs when we went down for that reunion, and I talked to him, and he's in great shape. So now the whole thing is whether he wants to keep playing.
Yeah,
I think he can probably play another 2 or 3 years and be because the game isn't as violent.